controversy at the main event.
Any pot, blind I'm gonna call.
You're the man.
Because I'm gonna stack you.
You're the man.
Gone.
You know you're making the big hand face, right?
Is this the big hand speech?
I'm gonna lay down a good one.
That's your Dolly Brunson, who wrote the book.
And there it is. Helmuth wins the championship.
Ryan Reese is the world champion.
Biggest day of my life.
Welcome back to the World Series of Poker main event. Day 5 is wrapping up as the quest for $10 million continues. I'm Lon McCarran with Norman Chad and Kara Scott, and we get right to the action at an outer table.
You know, Kyle?
Curtis Reistad continuing to hound pro Kyle Karanen. Karanen checks after hitting middle pair. Reistad with top pair bet 60,000.
There's reality TV, and then there's Reistad TV. Kyle Karanen wishes he could just turn the channel.
And Kyle makes the call.
It's been a tough day for Kyle, and he's got chips.
Turn card ace of diamonds. Kyle aces up now, and he's got the lead. He checks again. And Curtis checks back. River card 6 of diamonds. Aces up is good here for Karanen.
And I guarantee you, Karanen is comfortable with aces up in this spot.
These guys live for taking chips off one another. Here comes a bet.
I call.
And Reistad will be handing chips to his adversary.
That was a great turn for you. What's on aces and fours?
Curtis played it well until the river.
Reistad stack drops, while Kyle now sits with nearly 4 million chips.
You turned me, Kyle.
What do they say? One good turn deserves another?
There you go, Kyle. That's good. That's good. I like it. I did turn you. Yeah,
While Karanen continues to impress, no one's impressing more now than Mark Newhouse.
If this guy makes back-to-back main event final tables, I will walk the entire Las Vegas Strip barefoot while singing Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star.
If Slow and Steady wins, Maria Ho is ready.
If she makes the main event final table, I believe she should also broadcast it. I'm sure everyone agrees I could use a day off.
Few players have more respect at the table than that man, Dan Smith.
In New York City, the name Dan Smith means one thing: the guy who will teach you to play guitar. If you don't know what that means, just trust me.
Here's the current top 10. Bruno Politano over 6 million, but Mark Newhouse shining very brightly on that list.
Dan Smith in 4th place, and my guy Leaf Force is in 8th place. How come we never see him? Jeez.
In the poker world, there are records everyone talks about. Dan Harrington made back-to-back final tables in 2003 and 2004. Stu Unger won 3 main events. With 114 players left, Mark Newhouse is about 100 players away from entering that conversation.
In a field of 6,000 plus last year, he finished 9th. In a field of 6,000 plus this year, he's in 2nd place with 114 players left. Mark Newhouse is stalking back-to-back main event final tables against staggering numbers. Just thinking about the statistical and probability of it all would blow my mind if I still had a mind left. Is Mark Newhouse a better player than everyone else? I doubt it. So how's he doing it? I have absolutely no idea.
Mark told us he's playing this with a calmness and focus he could not attain in 2013. Experience is gold at the main event. Seated at Newhouse's table is another player with main event success, Chris Johnson.
Yeah, he's looking for back-to-back top 100 finishes in the main event, almost Mark Newhouse-like.
Chris's cash here at the 2014 main event gives him 15 for his career. Born in Nebraska, Chris attended the University of Nebraska, where he got a BA in marketing.
4 World Series cashes this year, 7 of them last year, and Chris also won a World Series circuit ring in Las Vegas in 2011.
Johnson with king-queen suited saw Gianfranco Vasali open up with ace-9 for 60,000.
Vasali, a poker pro / croupier. I'd love to put croupier on my resume.
I'd love to have sommelier on my resume.
No, you're play-by-play.
You're right. Johnson called Newhouse with queen-9 of clubs.
Yeah, why not? He's got 2 cards that are suited and semi-connected.
He makes the call. That's Vadim Markoshevsky in the big blind, queen-10.
Yeah, that's another loser hand with or without a hoodie. I don't like any of these hands, Lon. It feels like going to a flea market and you can't find anything good.
So Vasali open raised and got 3 callers, all who hold a queen. All right, 4 to the flop. King, 6, 8, 2 clubs, a pair of kings for Johnson to take the lead. Newhouse checks his flush draw. Markuszewski missed and checks. Vasali checks.
Johnson should bet here. No one showing any interest in the pot, and he's got top pair. Plus, he's happily married. Good spot for him.
And with top pair, he bets 125,000. Mark's not going anywhere. Markuszewski does fold. Original raiser Vasali gets out of the way, heads up now. Newhouse with the club draw, Johnson with top pair. 3 of clubs on the turn, and Newhouse gets his flush. And he checks again. Johnson checks back. Nice move. River card, 10 of spades.
Well, you make final tables by hitting cards, but you also make them by slow playing big hands and maybe getting your opponent to pay you off on the river.
Newhouse looks like he might want to drive the action here. 375.
Yeah, betting here both when you're bluffing and when you have it is called balancing your range, but we don't talk about those things, Lon.
Newhouse looking for his 2nd straight main event final table. He finished 9th last year.
Top pair good kicker would look pretty good to me here if I were Chris Johnson.
There's the call, there's the flush. Hand him over, Chris. Chris Johnson misses out on a pot he thought was his, and he now falls below the 1 million chip mark, while Mark Newhouse has risen to the penthouse here at the Rio. He is the day 5 chip leader. So Mark once again stacking chips, which is nothing new to him. It's what his life is all about these days.
My very first experience in poker was like $20 home games with friends. I went to college in North Carolina, dropped out of school. I came out west.
No NBA for Newhouse. Poker, baby.
I suppose it could have been worse.
I've been spending a lot of my life, last 8 years, doing the casino grind.
And I think he's been wearing the exact same clothes every day since last year's final table, and it works.
If I want to tell somebody what I do, I say I'm a poker player. As a poker player, you got to work, and you do have to put in hours. I mean, yeah, obviously I put a lot of work into the game. You don't have a lot of responsibility, but you do deal with a lot of stress and swing.
Mark Newhouse still in contention for unlikely back-to-back main event final tables.
Maybe a better way to describe it would be just degenerate. You know, degenerate is a word that has a negative connotation, but the way that I describe myself is it's just kind of living under the radar. It's just the life that I live. For me, it is a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle I've grown accustomed to, and it just means you're sort of apart from the norm.
If he makes back-to-back main event final tables, I will climb the Sears Tower in flip-flops.
Last couple of years, I've just kind of been living like a little gypsy life, you know? It's something I've grown accustomed to, but something that I'm looking to end. It's a life that gets old. When I was younger, I used to really have an ego. I wanted to be the best. At this point, I'm really completely over that. I'm just looking to chill.
He's got some great instincts. Can he really get there again? November 9 last year, this year?
Back to action at Mark Newhouse's table. Action folded to him with pocket sixes. He calls Jason Leifer's raise, holding ace-queen off under the gun.
Sadly, Newhouse might be the 3rd best-dressed player at this table.
Fold it around. Nobody wants to get into the hand with Newhouse and Leifer.
I believe Leifer is wearing a short-sleeve sweatshirt. Kids today.
The table may not know Mark's the overall chip leader, but they do know he's got a ton of chips. 4, queen, 10. Top pair, top kicker for Leifer.
Leifer's family runs a wholesale hydroponics business. I don't know what that is, but it allows Jason to play poker in LA while his brother takes care of the business.
And top pair, top kicker is worth a bet of 85,000. Pocket sixes for Newhouse, and he'll stick around.
Oh, why not? I'm a November 9er.
All right, turn card now. Is a 6 and a set for Mark Newhouse. Once again, it's a card and a check from Leifer. How does he know?
That's a ridiculous card line. You go set mining on the flop, not the turn.
And there's a bet from Newhouse, 175.
Top pair, top kicker looks real good here, but it is ace-queen, so of course he had no chance.
But there is a call from Leifer. And they build a pot of 725,000. River card, deuce of spades. What does that change, Norman?
It doesn't change anything, anytime, anywhere.
Leifer checks again.
Now see, in this spot, Mark often bets if he's missed his flush or straight draw, so when he's got a set of sixes like he does here, he'll often get paid off.
$500,000 is what he is tempting Leifer with. And there's a call. Newhouse turns the set and keeps right on rolling. The chip leader getting stronger. And when you're running this hot, it just makes sense to wear shades. Mark Newhouse leading the way. The 2014 World Series of Poker is dealt by the WSOP social game on Facebook and mobile. Sit and go tournaments are starting right now. Download for free. The Las Vegas Strip at dusk. The sun might be setting on one of our 4 remaining female players. That's Darlene Lee. She is all in with the short stack with ace-jack. Billy Pappas in the green hat, shoved with pocket 4s. Action is on Nicholas Nardello with pocket jacks. He calls. Pappas is all in.
Oh, my God.
Folded to Justin Swilling, and he shoves with ace-king of spades. So back to Nardello and his jacks. He's got them all covered. And he calls. So 3 players all in, 2 different side pots. Nardello, the biggest stack, can bust all 3 of them. All right, here's our flop. 10, 4, 9, a set of 4s for Pappas.
And Pappas now staring at a quadruple up.
This hand has attracted quite a crowd. Turn card, 8 of clubs. The foosball king is still best.
If a jack comes, Nardello would knock out all 3 opponents.
It's another 9. Pappas will take most of the chips.
Yes,
Good hand, man.
Swilling is out along with Darlene Lee. Pappas nearly quadruples up.
Way to get it in good, bud. Way to get it in good.
Swilling takes 112th place.
With 52 grand, Swilling can upgrade the wardrobe.
Best hand I ever seen.
Darlene Lee out in 113th.
She also cashed at this year's ladies event. We're down to 3 women in the main event.
Pappas vaults to over 1.6 million, taking the main and 1 side pot, while Nardello takes the larger side pot. So Billy will hang around with fellow main event first-timer Tom Serra Jr.
I'm a foosball player. I'm actually one of the best in the world, and I was supposed to be in Austria this weekend for a tournament. In 2 weeks, I'll be in Germany, and I'll stay there for like a month. I used to be able to do it for a living, because I used to win all the time. It's not so exhausting for me, because foosball tournaments, you have to stand up all day and play 13 hours a day. I'm never exhausted. I'm used to this kind of grind. I'm just a poor kid with a pipe dream, one of those, dreamers who've been dreaming of this since 2005. It's my first time I could afford it. The experience is nothing like it. It's the best experience I've ever had.
Once I got traction on day 1, I felt like my destiny was to go deep. It's unbelievable. I'm learning from all these guys around me. A couple of first-time main events here. Chatting it up a little bit.
Pappas and Serra, a couple of poker dealers sitting next to each other deep in the main event. And you know these 2 very nice fellows treat the fine staff of poker dealers here at the World Series very, very well.
Serra with a very nice stack for a seasoned vet, much less a main event rookie. So the field a little closer to breaking the 100-player mark. 110 left now. Back to Mark Newhouse, the chip leader, who raised with 9-4 off from early position.
Yeah, I only raised with 9-4 off in early position at non-televised events.
From the button, Jason Leifer called with king-queen off. Chris Johnson with a small ace.
The weak ace can only destroy a good marriage.
And he calls, so 3 players will see this flop. Newhouse got the ball rolling, and here is a flop for king 9. No way! Newhouse flops bottom 2, while a pair of kings comes for Leifer.
That's the 5th best flop for 9-4 off, according to my Texas Hold'em flop app.
Johnson checked. Newhouse bets 100,000. Leifer not going anywhere, makes the call, and Johnson folds.
This isn't rivalry week at ESPN, but Newhouse and Leifer will go at it again.
5 of diamonds. I'm shocked. No full house for Mark Newhouse.
What are the great poker rivalries? Amarillo Slim and Puggy Pearson, Matiso and Raymer, Helmuth and Northern Europe.
There you go. Newhouse bets 225.
And Mark hopes his hand gets shown down. It does great things for his image.
And Leifer once again thinking, I've got to be best against Newhouse with that board.
Hydroponics is probably an easier business than poker.
And there is the call from Jason. River card, tray of hearts, and Newhouse fooling around in early position comes up gold. Tosses out 400,000 casually.
Yeah, last time against Newhouse, Leifer flopped top pair, top kicker, and it didn't hold up. This time he flopped top pair, good kicker, and again, it's no good. I think the short sleeve sweatshirt is holding Leifer down.
There's the call. 9-4. Oh, I think Leifer thought he'd won the pot.
Yeah, he did. And if Jason Leifer had a gardening hoe right now, I'm not sure what he would do with it.
He gives up 30% of his ammunition to Newhouse, and Mark is all smiles right now, and why not? Day 5 has been a dream. He is the chip leader at the main event with the final table firmly in sight again. Welcome back to the Rio. Earlier on day 5, Kyle Karanen and Curtis Reistad win at each other on the felt, both with chips and with words. In this hand, Curtis cracked Kyle's aces.
Call. Oh, that's a shame. That's a full boat. Thanks for playing. Any pot. Blind, I'm going to call.
You're the man.
Because I'm going to stack you.
You're the man.
Gone. Get in pots with me, please. I want the full value.
Yeah, you got it there, man. Got that one bet. That's full value.
Well, you can't put them. I can't get them from you if you don't put them in.
The mood has lightened a bit. Maybe they're going to counseling.
Reistad down to 2.1 million. Karanen with nearly 4 million. Karanen opens the pot to 100,000 with ace-10 of clubs.
Day 5 of the 2014 main event has been defined by the Kyle Karanen-Curtis Reistad combustible combo.
100 players left, folded to Reistad with King 4 of spades.
You get the feeling that if Curtis were dealt one card, he would play a hand against Kyle. And remember, it was Queen 4 that cracked Karanen's aces. Reistad can't resist.
He does call for 70 grand more from the big blind.
This might be the best rivalry in sports right now.
King 6, Queen, oh, clubs, Karanen with an ace-high flush and a draw to a royal. Reistad checks top pair.
Yeah, my Texas Hold'em flop app indicates that this is the second best flop for Kyle's hand.
I want that app. 80,000 from Kyle Karanen with the ace-high flush.
Yeah, I thought Kyle might slow play it and hope Curtis stabs at it on the turn.
Curtis with the call. Turn card, deuce of hearts.
That probably doesn't change anything.
Never. Reistad checks again. Karanen, though, reaching. How much more can he get from Curtis Reistad? Karanen bets 180,000 this time.
Curtis with top pair, no kicker, no club, but he's on a mission. Take all of Kyle's chips or die trying.
$400,000.
A check raise from Curtis Reistad to 400,000. Music to Kyle's ears.
Yeah, Kyle Karanen finally has the moment he's been waiting for most of day 5. Curtis Reistad drawing dead and raising him.
And Curtis repping the hand that Kyle has. Karanen just calls.
Well, if you believe in poetic justice, you are watching some great video evidence.
All right. The river card now is a 4, and Curtis just rivered 2 pair against the flush.
400,000.
A confident 400,000 from Curtis.
Curtis leaves himself about $1 million behind, more than 30 big blinds.
400,000.
And now Kyle Karanen, who flopped the ace-high flush, will try to get the rest of that man's stack.
And Boy, Kyle waiting quite a while before he raises Curtis all in.
So much history between these two.
All in.
There it is.
The talk has subsided for Curtis Rystad, a moment of truth with his main event on the line.
I do not think he expected that, Norman.
Wow. I really think you have an ace of clubs with a king.
He's half right. Half right here is all wrong.
You know that, Kyle? I think you have the ace of clubs with a king.
If he truly believes that, he will be gone when he calls off his chips.
Trying to tell me to flop and not flush. Called, slow played it.
This is the inner voice Curtis should be listening to.
All the sparring that has taken place now culminates with this moment.
That's what I think you have, and then I think you Hollywood it to go all in. You Hollywood the call, turn, you Hollywood the river. Still have over $1 million if I lay it down, but I actually think I just sucked out on you on the river. I call.
And there it is!
Nice hand.
Rystad is gone!
You win.
Kyle Karanen survives his all-day human nightmare.
Hey. Hey, dude, it was nice playing with you.
You bet.
A gracious farewell from Kyle to the burr in his saddle. Curtis Rystad out in 100th place. Curtis made a lot of waves at this main event, but he's the one who is sunk at the hands of Kyle Karanen. And you can see on our player tracker, Kyle will now stack over 6.1 million. He's in third place, in great shape to erase his main event demons from 2 years ago when he came up short of his goal.
Well played, Kyle. Well played.
Thank you. You know how long me and him have been going at it?
Well, I heard, yeah.
12 hours. I've been messing with this guy 10 hours now. He's been on my right there. All right, Annie's please. I got here today. 2 seats to my left. And now I busted him. I mean, that's just the best thing that could ever happen. He was giving me such a hard time on the TV table too, man. It was unbelievable. You guys will probably see it on TV, man. I'm gonna look not the best on TV because...
Yeah, but they'll show that last hand too.
He like tilted me so hard.
Yeah. They'll show your revenge hand.
So the Rystad-Karanen saga ends with fireworks. Kara Scott is with Curtis now.
And we've lost Curtis Rystad here. You had a smile on your face all day, and watching you play was really interesting. So is there a positive that you can take away from this?
Oh, absolutely. I can do it. And I always thought I could. I know some other people, you think, oh, people say that, but you don't know if you can do it. So I came to try to win, I didn't try to min cash. So if I'm right there, I'm a big chip leader, and I have a really good chance to make the final table and win. And that's why you play. You try to win.
You had, as you say, a lot of history with Kyle. So what kind of player was he at the table?
Before we got on TV, he was the biggest stack at the table, and he pushed on us and pushed. And I could see that style of play, because when I have a big stack, I do the same thing. So I recognized it, and I wanted to catch him, and I ended up catching him a couple times, but I never really made him pay for it. And here is one time I thought I was going to be able to make him pay for it, but this time he woke up with the nuts. So what can you do?
Well, thank you so much for talking to us. It was a pleasure watching you. Thank you.
You bet. Thank you.
I mean, he was a nice guy, I'll be honest with him. I mean, he gave me a real hard time, but at the end of the day, we kind of made up, and he was cool with me. We had a big fight on TV.
Really?
Yeah, we were at each other's throats.
He was
messed up.
He was a pretty emotional guy.
Yeah. So, I don't want a bad mouth on him. He just made my life pretty hard for a long time today.
any pot, blind I'm going to call.
You're the man.
Because I'm going to stack you.
I really think you have an ace of clubs with a king. I call. Nice hand. You win.
You know how long me and him have been going at it?
Well, I heard.
12 hours. And now I busted him. I mean, that's just the best thing that could ever happen.
Back inside the Amazon room, a venue that just got a little quieter with Curtis Reistad's exit. Mark Newhouse still on top comfortably. Kyle Karanen into second.
Lee forces in 10th. Can't you give him some love?
Well, poker pro Matt Waxman is now at the featured table. Earlier, he reflected on this summer's World Series of Poker.
Well, this whole entire summer, every tournament after I busted, I said, you know, that's okay. I might have played that hand bad, but we're bringing it for the main. You're always going to make the wrong decision at least once a tournament. But I've really been buckling down and just using all my discipline and trusting my instincts so far.
I always make the wrong decision at least 15 times a tournament.
You don't ever last long enough to make 15 mistakes.
Good for you.
Waxman in the cutoff position, one before the button, raised it up to 60,000 with King Jack. On the button is Jeff Loiocano with Ace 7.
I love this guy because he's worked in every restaurant in Southern California, In-N-Out, Olive Garden, Fridays, Rainforest Cafe, Tony Roma's. He's a food service grinder.
33-year-old poker pro now. Loiocano, with that ace, raises the action to 180,000.
Well, I hope he waited on his customers faster than he makes 3 bets pre-flop.
Now, Dan Smith in the big blind.
Fold.
6 tray, and he announces fold.
Looks like he's tired of seeing 6 tray. Hey, we're all tired of seeing 6 tray, buddy.
Waxman now, the original raiser, has been re-raised by Loiocano.
Waxman, no shades, no hoodie, clean look. He's a cut above the average 20-something pro.
Well, he's behind, out of position against a bigger stack. Why wouldn't you call?
Oh, all of a sudden, you're Mr. No Limit Hold'em expert pro critic.
9-7-5, 2 diamonds. Waxman missed. Loiocano with middle pair. Matt checks.
Loiocano wanted to be a professional skateboarder, but he was waiting tables at Macaroni Grill in 1999, and a guy there invited him to a home game, and bang, poker it was.
And he puts 200,000 together.
As you pointed out, Waxman out of position, without a hand, but with chips in hand.
And suddenly, that has the attention of Loiocano. And here is a check raised to 480,000. That's crafty.
Loiocano also cashed at last year's main event, but at the moment, making double doubles at In-N-Out might seem like an easier career path. When I get check raised, Lon, I fold like 98% of the time.
The other 2%?
Go to the bathroom.
So the bracelet winner putting heat on Loiocano.
You look really nervous. I'll fold.
Jeff folds.
Loiocano, right read, wrong move. Waxman, right move, if somewhat nervously.
Matt swooped in for the check raise, boosting his total to almost 2.8 million. So Loiocano can't pull the trigger, giving a nice pot to Matt. Right now, here are Phil Locke and Antonio Esfandiari with an explanation of what just went down.
Both these players have a lot of experience. I've been playing with Jeff in cash games in LA for about a decade now, and Waxy's a fine player as well.
Right, I mean, Waxy's a very tough player. I think he's very good at reading people, and I think the read he gets is that Jeff 3-bet him pre-flop, and so on a flop of 9-7-5, it's unlikely that he connected with that kind of flop, given that he had raised him pre-flop.
He's hoping for the high Broadway cards, like ace-queen, ace-jack, that sort of thing.
And so if he has one of those hands, I think the check raise is fantastic. He happened to have middle pair, but even then, when someone check raises you, it's really tough to call with just middle pair on a board like that. And so I really like Waxy's play. I think it works more often than not. And
if it doesn't work, Waxy has the turn to get a little more frisky if he needed.
That's correct. This is just an example of going with your read and understanding the situation and just going for it. And I love the play.
I can't make that play, and if I were Loiocano, I would have folded 2, which would have been my 15th wrong decision of this main event.
We'll keep it here. Dan Smith, queen 9 of clubs.
Terrible omen. I'm going to make it 90,000 anyway.
The harder you bang the table with your chips, the weaker your hand is. Even I know that.
Please don't slam on my big blind.
In my club, I will slam the chips whenever I please.
Folded to Griffin Benger in the small blind with ace-queen, and he's going to re-raise to 260,000.
Of course, Benger was going to 3-bet there. If he's read Zachary Elwood's Reading Poker Tells or Verbal Poker Tells, he'd know Smith is weak. Left hand on right shoulder is the in vogue poker posture. I have no idea why.
260?
170,000 more is the call from Dan Smith.
No one, and I mean no one, Lon, 3-bets Dan Smith and gets him to fold.
So to Phil and Antonio's point, Benger re-raises pre-flop with big cards. Perhaps Dan will act accordingly post-flop. Jack 10-7, Benger with a gut shot. Smith open-ended, but the king's no good. That would give Benger a higher straight. Benger checks.
This looks like a good spot for Smith to pick up the pot with a semi-bluff. Or not.
Or not, exactly. All right, 5 of hearts helps neither player. Benger checks again. As does Smith. River card, tray of diamonds. Ace high is best for Benger. Nobody pairs up, he checks.
Oh, now Dan Smith's taking my advice. 2 streets, too late.
275?
275 after Benger seemed uninterested to this point.
Well, Benger left with just ace high. It is the best hand. I don't want to pick on Griffin Benger because he's a terrific player, but we've seen him make 15 poor decisions on day 5 alone.
There's another fold, and they say there's no skill in the game. But Dan Smith will take the pot with a perfectly timed river bet.
Nice hand, Dan.
Thanks.
Smith just looks like he's going to win most pots.
Benger having very little fun, now below average.
Did you have it?
I did not have it. I had a tier 2 hand.
Dan Smith chipping up on guile alone.
Slightly weak tier 2, I think.
Deep thoughts by Dan Smith. Welcome back to the Rio, celebrating its 10th anniversary of hosting the World Series of Poker. 90 players remain in the 2014 edition, including 2 first-timers we've been following, Billy Pappas on the left and Tom Serra Jr. on the right. Divorce attorney Marcia Kuntz just hit the rail.
A little disappointed with the ending, but, you know, obviously I'm thrilled. It's a lot of money. It was an amazing experience. And I really look forward to next year.
Last year, I won the China Nation Championship, so this is a part of their prize. I feel okay with my play, but because this is the first time, I got no idea how far I can go. I retired at 29-year-old from financial investment. For the past almost 20 years, I just traveling around and play poker, do some painting, some artwork, just for fun, just live my life. My lowest chip count was 50,000, and since that, it's just keep building up, never go down again, just keep up and up. And now I feel pretty comfortable.
I always like investors turned artists. It makes the world a better place. But this dual citizenship business, I don't like. Pick a country and stick with it.
Gua and everyone else in the contest chasing Mark Newhouse. The 2013 November Niner is the day 5 chip leader right now. He has ace-jack on the button.
Newhouse is an American citizen. No ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Didn't you promise to swim naked in the LA River if he makes the November 9 again?
Yes.
I believe all of America is rooting against Mark Newhouse right now. Bozanovic, a pro from Serbia with pocket kings.
Serbian citizen. Big difference between Serbia and the U.S. Serbia is landlocked. The U.S. is not.
Vladimir won a WPT event in 2013. And with the 2 red kings and a raise in front of him, he re-raises to 210,000. Back to Newhouse now.
Now, we've got land and we've got oceans, but Bozanovic has pocket kings right now. You know, Newhouse plays so many weak hands that some of his other hands look strong when they really aren't.
And he re-raises Bozanovic all in, and Vlad makes the call with the kings. Newhouse with 1 over.
I love Newhouse. Such a what will be body language. He's thinking, sometimes I'm ahead, sometimes I'm behind. What the heck?
Newhouse with a much bigger stack felt it was worth the risk. All right, here is the flop king, jack ace. Bozanovic with a set. Newhouse aces up.
Bozanovic in great shape to double up.
Vlad, you flopped a set. Smile. All right, turn card. Another jack. Both players with a boat. Bozanovic's is best.
Yeah, I think if you told Newhouse he'd make jacks full, he would have taken it. But Newhouse with just 3 outs to knock out Bozanovic.
It's an 8, and Bozanovic's double up is secure, but he had to sweat it the whole way. What a board.
So be it. I'll get them back later, or not.
Yep, a fifth of Mark's chips go away, as does his main event chip lead. Bozanovic with nearly $3.5 million can enjoy the moment for a few seconds and then get back to work. All right, let's get back to our featured table. Griffin Benger raised with pocket jacks, but was re-raised by Chad Evesledge with queens.
It looks like the Lon McCarron Memorial hand is going to bury Griffin Benger.
Evesledge, 22, lives near Miami, a poker pro.
I'm all in.
Player raises all in.
Call.
You heard him, the jacks are all in. The queens make the call.
Benger pushes with 27 big blinds left, and he is quite dismayed.
Griffin Benger in a world of trouble here.
It's really close.
Things for Griffin went from good to bad to worst here on day 5. And now the flop. King, Queen, 5, Evesledge with a set. Benger needs a hold-up miracle.
I'll be honest with you. I don't know how the Blue Jays ever won the World Series in 1992 and 93.
10 ball.
Looking for any hope, but the king on the turn ends it. Griffin Benger's run has been shut down.
Game, guys. Good luck, guys.
Evesledge scores the boat to sink Benger.
They coolered me. They coolered me.
Indeed, with a monster stack earlier, Griffin Benger seemed destined for a top 20 run, but his main event ends in 90th place. The final minutes of day 5 here at the 2014 World Series of Poker main event. 2 more days of play until we have our November 9. You see a few notable stacks there. Maria Ho hanging on with 11 big blinds. Lee Taylor on the left, open raise from the cutoff at this outer table with ace-8 of diamonds. Kyle Karanen has a bigger hand, ace-king, and twice the chip stack in the small blind, and he re-raises to 245.
Karanen looks the same in the post-Curtis Rystad era as he did in the pre-Curtis Rystad era, but I am sure he is so relieved.
Taylor, 44 years old, pretty much a full-time poker player from the UK. And Taylor casually re-raises to 685.
Taylor with the ambitious 4-bet.
Back to Kyle now.
All in.
He's got everybody here covered.
That should shut down the weak ace. And Taylor making the oopsie-doopsie pre-folding face.
I was just testing you. It is good to hold the hammer, and the sound of stacking chips pre-flop is sweet, sweet music to Kyle.
Karanen chipping up, playing his strong hands aggressively.
Kyle remaining on task, continues to be a force in the main event. We move to a different outer table where we get another look at foosball champ and first-timer Billy Pappas in a green hat. He's tripled his stack here on day 5. Billy, a world champion foosball player. My guess he's not a great guy to invite to your man cave.
The guy kills it in foosball. He's a hacky sack savant. He's obviously a good poker player, and I have zero doubt whatsoever that he would destroy my high score in Galaga.
All right, let's get over to Billy's table. Ace-Jack of hearts. He flopped a flush draw. Now a slight favorite against the ace-king of Chris Shaw. Shaw checked.
Shaw, a stay-at-home Charlotte, North Carolina dad. He says he got lucky here after he took a picture with me on day 4. The people in my first wedding photos weren't as lucky.
Both flopped a wheel draw. Pappas bets 260,000.
I think that's Shaw under there.
And Shaw's going to come along. So over 1 million chips in this pot. Turn card. Jack of spades. That should make Pappas feel better. Shaw checks.
A big card for Pappas. Top pair now to go with his nut flush draw and gut shot.
Well, Billy checks back. River card. 7 of spades. No flush for Pappas, but his pair of jacks are best.
4 cards straight out there now. Shaw will bluff at this and test the foosball wizard.
And that is 550,000.
That's about half the pot.
As Pappas squirming a bit.
Yeah, I wonder if Billy talks to himself during his most difficult foosball moments.
No time to think in that game. You see how fast the ball moves? So Billy Pappas with top pair, top kicker. His rail has been quite fervent as of late. There's the call. And give Billy Pappas the pot.
Pappas almost mucked it. He thought he'd lost, and Shaw needs to take another picture with me.
Thank you.
Pappas over 3.3 million, just about everything going right for this first timer, but he's still not invited to my game room. The 2014 World Series of Poker is dealt by the WSOP Circuit Tour. First the ring, then the bracelet. For the official schedule and events in your area, visit WSOP.com. Back to action, Mikio Aoki's great World Series could be ending. She's all in with pocket tens against the pocket kings of Eddie Sabat.
Aoki's had a great summer, second in the ladies event, now top 100 in the main event.
Here is the flop, Jack, Trey, deuce, no help for Aoki.
Yeah, she needs a lot of help.
The hearts don't help her. Eddie has the king of hearts. Turn card, Trey of diamonds, not a 10, and that's all Aoki cares about. Melissa Costello is Eddie's girlfriend. River card.
Yes!
Not a 10. Aoki is gone. Another fine payday for the amateur.
Boy, Eddie was not at risk and a head in the hand, and it held. I'd hate to see his reaction if he sucks out.
Aoki out in 83rd place, and that leaves Maria Ho as the last woman standing in the main event. For Sabat, a much healthier stack now with 55 big blinds.
Good kid, but he's got to dress better.
Takes a lot out of you, like, even just standing back here. But yeah, he was way short, like, I mean, 220,000 a couple levels ago, so back up to the 1 point whatevers. I'm happy about that.
Elsewhere, back-to-back November Niner hopeful Mark Newhouse with a chance to get some chips back from Vladimir Bozanovich. Maria Ho sitting at this table now, too.
By the way, this is the second time she's been last woman standing. 2007 was the first.
The Serbian poker pro Vladimir has king-queen. He re-raised Newhouse, who has ace-king.
Newhouse originally had min-raised.
And there is the call. So these two will go at it once again. The flop is 8-7, king of king for both. Newhouse still the heavy favorite. He checks it.
This is setting up well for Mark Newhouse.
Bozanovich with top pair and a good kicker, and he's slow playing his hand as well. Turn card 6 of clubs. Newhouse still best. These two are the top stacks at this table. 200,000 for Mark.
Gotta like the way Mark has played this one. Just called the 3-bet pre-flop, then checked top pair, top kicker on the flop. No way Bozanovich suspects he's up against such a strong hand.
A call from the Serbian 10 of spades. Straight draw on the board, but it's Newhouse with the best hand.
That's a pretty safe card for ace-king. A 9 does make a straight, but Bozanovich unlikely to have a 9 in his hand with his pre-flop 3-bet.
Newhouse. 1 green, 3 lavenders. That's 325,000.
That is a United States single citizenship verified value bet. Nothing Bozanovich can do about it. Newhouse getting the best of it again and again.
Bozanovich calls. And as we've said time and time again, Newhouse running good and getting paid off. He is back into the main event chip lead. Mark Newhouse continuing to show the world he can go back-to-back, 7.4 million chips. So Newhouse in great shape right now, as is Kyle Karanen, who's on Newhouse's heels.
Karanen with enough chips to buy Curtis Rystad a drink.
Maria Ho still has chips, just not many of them.
But look, she's the last woman standing.
I'm ready for day 6. That's the truth.
So Mark Newhouse takes a giant leap on day 5 of the 2014 main event from 27th place to chip leader. For that, he is tonight's DraftKings.com King of the Night.
I won a few big pots early on, and I just got a monster chip lead. And it got to the point where I had so many more chips than everyone else that I could just raise every hand, and no one could really do anything about it.
Newhouse, the only player above $7 million, but Karenin and Scott Palmer are both over $6.5 million.
Wow, Newhouse on top with 79 players to go. He's 8 tables away from back-to-back main event final tables. Can't happen!
Mark Newhouse made a strong push for another final table. Curtis Reistad shot at $10 million, ended dramatically.
What do you think? You have an ace of clubs with a king. Hollywood the call, turn, Hollywood the river. I call. Nice hand. You win.
You know how long me and him have been going at it? And now I busted everything. That's just the best thing that ever happened.
The Reistad Karenin chapter is over, but the main event book is far from complete. Yes! For Norman, Chad, and Kara Scott, I'm Lon McCarran. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.